So this is what happens when it's the middle of the night when they put out updates. I initially read this wrong. I was like, okay, he's decent. He's actually much better than decent. So his passive, Nyx, he's got the first skill, same as the other ones, branding, with a 70% chance after it's skilled up. This one, the virus, attacks all enemies, 50% chance to grant, it goes up to 70 as well. Grant one of the following effects for 2 turns: defense break, decreased attack speed, or beneficial effects blocked. But this is really the thing, and I read this incorrectly the first time. Decrease the damage to allies under harmful effects received by 20%. In addition, the number of harmful effects allies have in battles, boss battle excluded, is limited to 2. For whatever reason, I read this as 2 turns. And I was like, okay, I'm not that excited about it. The harmful effects are limited to 2. So you can have 2 harmful effects on a unit, on one of your allies, and then after that, you can't have more. So, much better. Also, we got the HP leader skill, 44%, which is really nice. This is a great unit in a turn 2 team. Let's take a look. So we've got plenty of debuffs on both sides. So they're picking the Dark Hacker, which means they're letting the Irene through. I mean, the Layla through. So let's see. They're only limited to 2 debuffs, which kind of shuts down a lot of these super crazy debuff heavy comps. Only 2 debuffs. They can't get any more than that. And opponents can get as many as they want. So opponents have 3 and 4 on some of the units. So let's see. They got some defense breaks. All right, so no more debuffs on the units on the right-hand side. They can't do anything else to them. And now they can get more debuffs on the Volantis if they want to. But this really shuts down some of these, or theoretically shuts down some of these debuff heavy comps. So now they come back, and all the debuffs, so Tomo can do whatever she wants. But of course, if Tomo was on the other side, then she would be, again, she would be limited. So. And then we see OP Beth doing OP Beth things. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She is good in some instances, though. Beautiful. So we get to see this against Maximilian. So Maximilian's not going to get banned. They banned the damage dealer. All right. So let's see. Get the strips. Okay. Increase cooldowns. So Maximilian should normally clear house here. Not all the debuffs. That would have been an easy Maximilian win. But he did not get all the debuffs because of that passive. And now they're going to ban him the next time they see him. They're like, no. If I'm using Maximilian, I need this unit not on the battlefield. So, yeah, still alive. And then they got the virus, block beneficial effects, defense breaks. That was absolutely oh, here we go. Oh, I thought they were going to go for something else. But that was absolutely a spot where this unit, the Dark Hacker, just clinched them the win right there with his passive. So we got 2 control teams. Well, they're kind of controlled bruiser teams. We don't see the crazy speed leads. So, well, we see 1 speed lead. Left-hand side's taking turn 1. Yep. And they can only take... They don't have a crazy amount of... Nice. They don't have a crazy amount of debuffs, though. So they can't take any more debuffs than that for the units that have 2 debuffs on them already. I don't think that he's really the optimal unit in this instance because the opponent does not have a ton of debuffs here. They got a couple, but this is not like a debuff heavy comp. Like he does really well against debuff heavy comps. They might take this. They really need to take that Chimera down. All right, and the multi hits, all the debuffs there. But they had very limited debuffs on the opponent's side, so we really didn't get to see Nyx. We really didn't get to, it's the same name as another unit in the game. We really didn't get to see. This is gonna be so confusing in SWC because people are gonna bring both his SWC LD5s everywhere. People are gonna bring both of them in, and yeah, I can't wait till 2 people, 1 Nyx on each side, and it gets very confusing. Both teams going for fast comps. Ooh, the Dark Pioneer. They get another speed lead at the end on the right. They do not. And they don't ban. Okay, I thought they were going to ban the Han, actually. So let's see. But they're not really using him as a turn 2 unit. So he kind of loses. He's got value here doing all these debuffs. Don't get me wrong. But you don't really get the true value out of his passive because Nyx really shines. It sounds so weird saying Nyx. It's his name, but it's also another unit's name. Yeah, he really doesn't get the true value out of his passive with the damage mitigation for the first part and the limitation of the number of debuffs. He really gets a lot of value against Maximilian comps, against Nephthys, against Layla, against Tomo, things like that. That's really where he's going to shine the most. So you've got a Shizuka on one side and a Layla on the other. And we see the Dark Hacker Nyx getting picked. And Tomo. So he could actually be a counter to the team that he is on right now. He does have synergy with those units to work together. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that strip, but it kind of hurt them as well. So let's see. I wonder if the better strategy would have been to water you first, let the opponent take a turn, and then come in with the the Layla after that. Irene is the water one. I keep wanting to call one the other. But yeah, he would have been good. He's good on both teams, to be honest, because he's got a lot of debuffs, so he synergizes well with Layla and Tomo. But also, he would have been really good on the opponent's team, because look how many debuffs they have. That would have been limited to 2. So opponent's like, yeah, I would love one of those as well. But yeah, they if he was on the other side, he would have definitely nerfed the power of Layla and Tomo. They're really not getting too much value out of that. I wonder if they were just autoing. Because this really wasn't giving them very much. Lots of debuffs on both sides. Juno comes out. I wonder if Juno gets banned. Juno does get banned. However, the Nyx does make it through. 3 LDs make it through on the one side. And 2 LDs make it through on the other side. Oh, man. This game is just full of LDs now. So, 2 debuffs. That's that. Nothing more. Guess the brand on the monkey. If Shizuka takes a turn. Okay, gets the virus. Let's see. Really doesn't get a whole lot with that. Almost felt like the opponent had one of their own. But this Tianlang, having the two dots, means he can't take more debuffs now. So he can't be CC'd. Shizuka can't be CC'd either. Actually, really, really valuable right here. Oh my god, they don't get the debuffs that they needed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is really nice against this comp though. Because the opponent is kind of limited in a lot of what they can do right now. I wonder if this Riley's just going to be a nightmare to deal with all her cleansing and immunity, and or if they're able to actually take this Volantis down. Okay. So Light Monkey's doing Light Monkey things because they didn't have other debuffs on that team, so he was able to actually get his CCs off. And they did not want to use the stacked Riley ultimate because they did not want to stack Gelnir, because then it was going to be harder for him to heal. They just want to start taking things down. So they are limiting the they're just using skill 1 with Riley because of that. Well, let's see. They're kind of adapting their play style. Okay, but you can't get the CC there. You can't get the true value of the monkey with those debuffs. All right, so 1 unit's down. Ooh, gets the stun there. This really is a back and forth. They're trying to take one thing down as soon as possible. Okay, so they get the AoE stuns. They get 3 stuns. And they really can't do anything with Tomo right now because it would be kind of, well, maybe not fully pointless, but now they get more value out of it here. Monkey can do monkey things because they don't have debuffs already on them. That's right. He's just sitting there doing skill 1 over and over and over again. But they know how to handle this Gildnir. They're like, I'm not going to stack him more than I need to. So, ooh, the virus. Does it kill anything? It does not. That Nyx is almost down. And Nyx is down. So now they can do as much crazy nonsense as they want. Okay, GG. But that would have gone a completely different way if they tried using Riley's ultimate and then kept getting that Gildnir stacked up again with his knowledge. That would have gone completely the opposite way. That would have been a massive frustration. So I don't think this is really a great unit in this comp, because there's not a whole lot of debuffs that they're fighting against. They still have the multi-hits with all the debuffs on Nyx skill 2, but they're really not getting a whole lot of value out of his passive. So I think they're going to have to rely on other things to... Like, that's all the value that he's going to get here, for the most part. They're going to have to rely on other things to win. Switch Destiny. Yeah, he's just going to do some... okay, he's got a little stun there. Which means he's on Despair. Because he doesn't naturally have a stun. But he really doesn't have a lot of value here, because look, there's no debuffs on the team anyway, and that's where he shines. So they could have picked a unit that's more useful. Yeah, I just don't think they're getting a whole lot of value. Like, they're going for him, but he's not the threat. Aside from the skill 2. So the skill 2 is going to have value regardless, but the passive, yeah. This is just everywhere. LDs. LD. Okay, let's see. Let's see which LDs get banned and which LDs. Vertiheal gets banned. All right. So we got the charming voice on Nikki. And then we're getting start and end. Okay. And get... Ooh. So they cannot take any more debuffs now. Two of them can't take any more debuffs. They got the 2 dots, and that's that. Curse the Beautiful. They're hoping for some heal blocks, I'm sure. So they're going to go for Jameer next. In terms of damage, yeah. And the Lima cannot take any more debuffs because she already has 2 dots. Toxic teams. Jameer's not getting violent procs. Start and end. Only 2 dots. That is the maximum. Cannot take that defense break. So it's kind of pointless. Would have been better to do maybe something else. Maybe skill 1 on the Polar Queen, I think. But there you go. They missed out on taking some defense breaks because of the passive. Look at this ridiculous team. Okay, but he really doesn't have a tremendous amount of value here, because there's not a ton of debuffs. So let's see. I think more so the Ragdoll is going to be the one that steals the show. They do have... Okay, so the opponent does have some defense breaks, some glancing hits, some stuns, potentially, and then some freezes. So, this Dark Heavy Lord cannot be CC'd now because he has 2 debuffs on him already. Cannot be provoked, 2 debuffs. Although now they can do whatever they want. Okay, so now the Viva Chill cannot take any more debuffs. But there's not a ton. Yeah, now they can take whatever. But there's not a ton of debuffs on the enemy team. So this is not the most optimal place for him. I'm sure they just wanted to play with him because, like, it looks like this person's just picking LDs because they want to pick their fun LDs. Not necessarily that they're looking for the most premium synergy. They're just like, I want to play with my LDs. Although this is dangerous because now they're stacking the Ragdoll. Oh, the Ragdoll doesn't have... there we go. There's the turret. Yeah, if they had, well, you know what I'm going to say. The same thing I've been saying the whole time. If Ragdoll procs, it's over. Ah, he didn't proc. They really needed to take that down. That's game. 67,000. So both teams have some strips and some debuffs. And it's looking like the Nephthys is definitely not getting banned on the left-hand side. And also the Wind Indra is not getting banned either, because those are the ones with the big debuffs and they have a counter to debuffs. So they're just letting both of those through. So Nephthys cannot get anything, any of her debuffs on the Volantis or the Nyx. Also, she's got a glancing, so she's probably not going to get any debuffs on the other ones as well. But let's see. Yep. Really, really nasty against that Nephthys, since they already had 2 debuffs on half the team. And then more debuffs here, more damage. And then Tomoe's going to be able to do some crazy, crazy, disgusting stuff. And that is basically game right here. Yeah, so this was wonderful against the team with Nephthys and the Indra. They stopped that Nephthys in her tracks. She was able to do... the glancing is also really strong against her. Don't get me wrong. But they stopped that Nephthys from doing everything that she was planning to do with her skill 3 and her passive. So that is Nyx. That is the new Nyx. Nyx B, I guess. I don't know. Nyx the Dark Hacker. Very fun unit. Definitely better than I realized at first, because I read it wrong because it was late at night. So that's when these updates come out. But anyway, yeah, much more exciting than I realized he was going to be at first. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one. Wait. I'll see you as always in the next one. I'm sorry, guys. Dad jokes.